Kennedy was initially thought to have a difficult path to confirmation, but after a bunch of meetings with 24 senators this week, many seemed ready to look past his political baggage and focus on areas of shared interest. Here is President-elect Trump at America Fest 2024 speaking on RFK Jr. and their partnership.
And to be our next Secretary of Health and Human Services, I decided, look, something's going on here. When you look at like autism from 25 years ago and you look at it now, something's going on, and I nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Think of it. Think of this. 25 years ago, autism, 1 in 10,000 children. Today, it's 1 in 36 children. Is something wrong? I think so. And Robert and I and all, we're going to figure it out. But did you ever hear numbers like this?
Well, joining me now to discuss this topic is National Organizing Director for American Values 2024, RFK Jr. Super PAC, Larry Sharpe. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
So happy to be here, Ken. I am so excited that Trump is talking about RFK as much as he is. I was worried that the MAGA movement might kind of get pushed away from MAGA, but man, it's going together. I can't complain.
Well, there was certainly a segment of the population that was overlooked for years that has been very worried about the very things that RFK Jr. is talking about. And of course, it didn't hurt when the ladies saw RFK, and some of the guys saw RFK Jr. Without a shirt on in California a couple of months back.
He is a stud. That is for sure. He is a stud, 100%. But the most important piece here is, look, I've pushed for the independent voices to be heard for years. And the glory of independent voices is even if they don't win, and clearly Bobby Kennedy Jr. didn't win the election, he did move the needle, and that's why the independent voices are so important. Otherwise, we get stuck with the left is right, right is wrong, blah, 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 right? We just get this back and forth. Independent voices move the needle, and I think you can see it. And I've said it before, and I'll keep saying, I'm going to take full credit for this. Bobby Kennedy Jr. joining on the Trump train is what made Trump's victory so decisive. He probably would have won anyway, but it wouldn't have been as decisive. Bobby Kennedy Jr. brought at least 3 million people over. And on top of that, he brought a more feminized side. He helped to close the gender gap with Make America Healthy Again, which is more family-based. And now you even see it when it comes to his confirmation. You see Democrats jumping aboard, people like Cory Booker jumping aboard, people saying, you know what, I'm going to jump on board here because my constituency has somebody who's ill, has someone who's sick, who cares about their healthy food. And I think even the FDA is moving. The FDA is now deciding, oh, maybe we're going to start banning some things. They want to do stuff now that they didn't want to do before because they're afraid of what Bobby Kennedy Jr. is going to do. But I got to go one step further. Trump has been very smart. He's given Bobby Kennedy 2 years to show some kind of success, which means the FDA is now trying to act quickly so they can say they've done something so that Bobby Kennedy Jr. can't get credit for it. You've seen that happen already. They're jumping on board really fast. It's a
Larry,
great change. I can't complain.
You know, one of the things, the biggest PR things is being able to get a message out quickly and succinctly. And I think one of the biggest messages that RFK Jr. put out there that made everyone say, we have no argument against this, when he points out very simply that Europe, how come Europe banned this artificial food dye because it causes cancer, but yet we still have it? That is something that nobody can argue against. And it's something as simple as that. And every parent in America who feeds their kid a breakfast cereal that has purples and greens and oranges, they have to be scratching their head saying, what am I giving my kid? And why is it that it's not good enough for Canada, it's not good enough for Europe, but it is good enough for us? What's that about? I think that message just resonated with so many people.
And there's over 1,000 more of those things that are not in European foods that are in our foods. And the worst part is, to be forward, the Democratic establishment has had no answer for this. At least have an answer. Say, we went through it, we found the answer, here's what it is. They just say, shut up, be quiet, and stay sick. They've just said that. And the establishment has too. To be forward, part of the Republican establishment has done this too, which is why the Republican establishment has fought back against Trump, right? The establishment is the establishment, right? Red and blue, they get together at top, right? And they push back
on
Trump
uniparty
too. Correct. And he is absolutely pushing back. And I think people are now saying, what do I do? And the scariest part is the Republican Party, if you go back 10 years ago, wasn't really the party of the working class. Now it is. And that has changed how people think. And they're saying, wait a minute, something's wrong here. That wasn't supposed to happen. And now when the establishment sees that, they get afraid and go, we have to act. We have to do something. And I see the action happening right now.
And do you think, Larry, that this is what gives Trump the success that he has? He didn't win because he was a Republican. He won because he was Donald Trump. He won because he formed a coalition. He's not afraid to listen to great ideas from the likes of an RFK Jr. He'll talk to a John Fetterman. He'll talk to, it doesn't matter what letter, D or R or libertarian as you are, or you were the vice presidential candidate at one point, right, for the Libertarian Party, weren't you?
I did try in 2016, but I did lose. But yes.
I remember your
Yes,
name. That's why I remember from back then.
Absolutely.
But,
No, you're correct on this completely. And look, what I think is the advantage of having an entrepreneur or business person in this level is a successful entrepreneur learns from mistakes. A successful politician just gets more money. So so Trump learned from 2016 what he didn't do right, what he made a mistake. And he wasn't as open in 2016 to non-establishment. Remember, he had a lot more swampy people in 2016 because he didn't know any better. So he walked in and a swamp was there. And he goes, okay, let me help out. And they came in. This year, he's like, no, I saw what happened in 2016. I'm changing my mind. And him building this unity candidacy, oh my God, only someone like a Trump could have done this. Think about this. Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat. RFK Jr., former Democrat. Joe Rogan, former Bernie supporter. Elon Musk, former Bernie supporter. This is the Trump strong personality, exactly right, Ken, that brought these people together. I don't think a more establishment Republican could have done it.
Yeah, I think Trump has way more in common with Tulsi Gabbard, with RFK Jr. than he has with Mitch McConnell.
Agreed. And I think Mitch McConnell hates that so much. I think you can see it in him. The establishment still fights him, right? Some people get upset when Trump brings on someone who you would think of as more of an establishment player. But I'm going to be very forward. He has to. He can't just walk in and say, I'm changing everything. The establishment still exists. The swamp didn't go away. Does he have a mandate? 100% he does. He's got a mandate, a lot of power. He'll get a lot done. This is not a walk-in, change everything. It's a walk-in and negotiate, which is why you're seeing people go back and forth. We'll try him. We'll try this person. Go back and forth. You give me him, I'll give you her. And they're still horse trading. They're still negotiating. And I got to say, what I'm also happy about is Trump now has better surrogates who are also doing the negotiating for him. You can see it. He's got better surrogates, making a lot of connections, making things happen.
Well, I think one of those is Elon Musk. Now, so many people are complaining. You hear the left screaming, the ladies on The View screaming like stuck pigs. Oh, did I use that analogy? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because they, I'm sure I'll get written about that one. But they're screaming because they're saying, well, who's really president? It's like Elon Musk is president. I think Elon Musk is intentionally, this is all part of the plan. He's taking the arrows for Trump right now, and he has nothing to lose. What are you going to do? Take away 1 million of his $500 billion? Oh, so Elon is there to take all the stress away from Donald Trump, who can then focus on the agenda.
Well, not just that. You saw him early on put J.D. Vance out. When the change happened, when all of a sudden it went from Biden to Harris, you saw the Trump team have to kind of rebuild, rethink, retool. Okay, now we have a new game. They threw J.D. Vance out there. If you remember, for like a month, he was out there getting slaughtered. But they did it so that they could rebuild. It's a smart move. Again, this is my whole idea of surrogates. He's got better surrogates. But to be fair to Democrats, they're being wrong here. They had Mark Cuban. They had Beyonce. Well, why is Mark Cuban and Beyonce bad? I wish I had Beyonce. Right?
Good luck with that.
Yes.
Larry, we're out of time. I got to cut you off, but you were great. Thank you so much, Larry Sharpe, for being on today. All the best in the upcoming administration.
Good seeing
well,
you,
coming
Ken.
up,
Enjoy
the FAA has
holidays.
declared you too.